Russian propagandists called for an invasion of Kazakhstan following the drone attack on the Orsk oil refinery, according to activist Sergei Sternenko, posted on Telegram. He shared a screenshot and analyzed a statement by a pro-Kremlin blogger who proposed a cleansing operation in Astana and even a cross-border raid in response to the incident. The gist of the complaint is simple. Z propagandist Sergei Mardan claims that the drones that hit the oil refinery in Orsk were launched from Kazakhstan. The text notes the distance from the Ukrainian border to Orsk, approximately 1,400 kilometers, and concludes that the launch could not have been carried out from Ukraine. Hence, the proposal calls for forceful measures against the independent neighbor. Isn't it time to conduct a raid on the territory of independent Kazakhstan to eliminate threats to Russia's national security? It would be best to immediately carry out a purge in Astana, writes blogger Mardan, directly calling for an attack on yet another neighboring country. Sternenko sharply criticized these statements. In his opinion, the propagandists simply refuse to acknowledge that Russian air defenses are demonstrating alarming vulnerabilities. Long-range drones are increasingly flying over and striking targets inside Russia. Instead of acknowledging their own weaknesses, it seems more convenient to blame their neighbor and stir up anti-Kazakh sentiments. It's important to emphasize there is no direct evidence that the launch actually originated in Kazakhstan. Ukraine, for its part, has not yet officially claimed responsibility for the attack on the strategically important oil refinery. It's important to note that this isn't the first time. Russian media has promoted the idea of aggression against Kazakhstan, especially since anti-Russian sentiment in that country has recently become more pronounced. The Russians are very interested in implementing the new Ukrainian scenario here, and now there are open calls for it. Recall in Orsk, in the Orenburg region of Russia, an attack on a local oil refinery was recorded. Analysts specializing in countering disinformation discussed the incident. The head of the relevant center confirmed the information via telegram, preliminarily pointing to the real event and its scale. Such statements emphasize the importance of verifying data from open channels as details of the situation are currently being clarified. According to Telegram channels, the strike could have been delivered by drones, the Orsk Nefteorg Synthes plant. At this moment, there have been no official confirmations regarding damage or the number of those injured. However, the situation requires careful monitoring by regional services.
As the European Union pushes to fully sever its reliance on Russian energy, Hungary's populist government stands firm. Russia is a reliable partner. And for geographical and physical reasons in Central Europe, the security of Hungary's energy supply cannot be guaranteed without Russia, Hungarian Foreign Minister Péter Szijjártó said after one of his regular meetings with his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov in September. But some energy experts, as well as critics of Hungary's populist government, see the country's commitment to Russian energy more as politics than pipelines. Russia has attacked Ukraine. There is a joint European decision that the European Union or its member states should not finance the armament of Russia, Laszlo Miklos, a chemical engineer and energy industry analyst, said. Hungary and its leader, Prime Minister Viktor Orbán, have long argued that Russian energy imports are indispensable for the country's economy, and that switching to fossil fuels sourced from elsewhere would cause an immediate economic collapse. If Hungary is cut off Russian oil and natural gas, then immediately, within a minute, the Hungarian economic performance will drop by 4%. This would be catastrophic. The Hungarian economy would be on its knees, Orbán told his country's state broadcaster in September. The Hungarian Prime Minister, who has long had the friendliest ties to the Kremlin of any EU leader, has vigorously opposed the bloc's efforts to sanction Moscow after its full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. As the rest of Europe has weaned off Russian energy, Hungary has maintained and even increased its Russian imports, insisting no viable alternative exists. But Miklos told the Associated Press that there was no rational explanation for Orbán's government's reluctance to seek alternative fuel sources, and that ample infrastructure is already in place to supply Hungary with affordable, non-Russian oil and gas.
Oroszország megbízható partnerünk, és ma az a helyzet Közép-Európában, hogy földrajzi és fizikai okok miatt Magyarország energiaellátásának biztonságát Oroszországból származó energiahordozók nélkül garantálni nem lehet.
Oroszország megtámadta Ukrajnát. Ez egy közös európai döntés, hogy ne finanszírozza az Európai Unió, illetve annak tagállamai Oroszország fegyverkezését.
Ha leválasztják Magyarországot a kőolajról és a földgázról, az orosz kőolajról és földgázról, azonnal egy minutumon belül a magyar gazdasági teljesítmény 4%-kal leesik. Az katasztrófa. Az azt jelenti, hogy a magyar gazdaság térdre rogy.
Sokszor félreértik ezt a dolgot, nevezetesen azt gondolják, hogy Magyarország anyagi előnyök miatt vásárol orosz energiahordozókat. Nem. Magyarország azért vásárol orosz energiahordozókat, mert a magyar kormány segíteni akarja Oroszország fegyverkezését. És ennek egy mellékszál az, hogy éppen az uniós mentességi döntés nyomán, hát ugye nagyon jelentős, sok 100 milliárd forintos haszna származott a MOL-nak és a magyar kormánynak 2022 óta.